No one is going to hand you success. You must go out and get it yourself. That's why you're here, to dominate, to conquer both the world and yourself. Welcome to Tea with Sarah. It's a great pleasure to have Mumina with us today. Please do introduce yourself to our viewers.
Hi, my name is Mumina. I am the founder and curator at Woah, which is an artisan curating company in Sri Lanka, where we put in a person's individuality and we just like ship it off to them. So that's what we do right now. That's basically what I'm right now.
So we'll start off by talking about your past, if that is okay with you.
Yeah, that is totally fine. Yeah. So initially, basically I'm a psychology undergraduate, so I did my bachelor's in psychology in Sri Lanka. Although that was the field for me during that time, I kind of gravitated towards being more handicraft and craftable and doing things because I always loved gifting. So that's the history behind why I actually wanted to do Woah. Whenever I go out, somebody might be with me, it might be my aunt, my cousin, whoever. I'm like, do you want this? Do you want that? And they get so mad at me and they like, stop spending on us, because I really love to pamper people. So it just became, I think it just gravitated towards what Woah is now, like pampering people and giving people a sense of like importance. That's basically.
So when did you start your business?
2 years ago, we started off with subscription services, but now we gravitated towards personalized, custom-made gifting.
You're a Muslim young lady.
Yes.
So how did this recent Easter bomb attack affect your business?
Firstly, since I run a lot of errands, I go out, I was not able to do that. And there were a lot of people who wanted boxes, but they were reluctant to take it. So, but then we had a consistent amount, so that's okay.
Why did you think of starting a curated gift company?
Firstly, I was very inspired to gift anybody I loved. So that was one thing why I wanted to do this. And abroad in US, UK, this service was there. And my aunt actually got a box. And because of that, because of the thrill of seeing a lot of things, I wanted to bring it here as well and start that here too.
What habits helped make you successful?
Being stubborn.
Being stubborn?
Yes, in a good way.
Okay.
Because there are so many instances where the inner self wants you to give up because it weighs the pros and cons of your situation. But I was stubborn on seeing the bigger picture, on doing better. I always like to develop. So I think that's one trait which has kept us going.
So who's supporting you with this business?
My mom, my extended family, or like not all of them. I have a few close cousins, my few friends. Anybody who knew me as a person always ended up supporting me. So that's the major support I got from them, definitely.
You said your mom. How about your dad?
My father, he first was bluffing. He was like, oh, that wouldn't work.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was like, it wouldn't work. What is this? It's not so great, this box. And then later on, he saw me pick it up. And then he was interested and he was trying to like come in and be like, do you want this for your company? Or do you want this for your company? Which I was like, I can't negotiate on that. And continue doing what I did. Because I believe having faith on the people you love is very important. So I just did what I did. That's about it.
Shall we talk about some of your prior successes and failures?
With regards to Woah, right?
Yeah.
With regards to Woah, biggest success was getting in contact with a lot of bloggers. That was the first success we had because the bloggers that we contacted all were very kind to be able to promote us and to agree to what we have to say. That was really supportive of them. And then we got featured in Cosmopolitan Sri Lanka and then a couple other magazines. The biggest success I would tell you is that we've consistently been able to serve our customers. and to put a smile on their face. I think that's the biggest successful thing that not even a magazine could give us, is that gratification we get from seeing somebody being happy.
Is it okay if I ask your age?
I am actually 23.
All right.
Yeah.
You're a Muslim.
Yes.
23 years old.
Yes.
You're not married.
Yes. No.
Yeah. How are you surviving? I mean, knowing about Muslim families and the rules and regulations.
I would consider my family being the alien of the entire society, because honestly, it can be a family gathering or something that's happening outside. We don't go unless we don't prioritize it. You know, weddings and stuff.
Yes.
So a lot of women have to dress up for weddings and blah 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 and run and all that and look great and all.
Yeah.
But we don't like opt to that. If you want, if you're interested, if that person is important to us, we'll go. My mother has brought us up in a way that we are not confined by what other people think. It's just about like what my mom thinks and what my sister thinks. Other than that, the rest of the world is like confetti here and there. So when a lot of people come and tell me that they have issues with the society, I'm like, who are you referring to? The outside, the extended family? Because for me, that really doesn't matter unless people are really closer to me. That's it.
So in general, what do you think of marriage?
Marriage is a partnership of development. It's very important. Yeah, it's very important that you marry not because you want to settle or have somebody pay your bills or find a route of escape. That is not what it is. It is a hand-in-hand growing process. It's like both of you have to water each other to grow. I think that's what's very important about marriages. But now people got it twisted. They think it's a form of settlement.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's not. There's a lot in the process. So I'm still a growing individual. So I don't look at it now to get married, but maybe in the future, because I want to find somebody who has the mentality of me, which is growth. We grow together. And when people come to proposals and things, they're not like growth. They're like, okay, don't work. No, scratch that off the list. That is not coming. So yeah.
What is that? Don't work.
Yeah,
you can't go out. No
exactly.
party.
Say competition. When you have competition, I'm a person who again follows the peaceful. I don't. Parties and things are actually not my thing. I love a good book, a good cup of coffee. I'm like read. Like you could call me a nerd some point, but I really love to spend time on myself, spend time with the people I love, because I want to live a meaningful life and I want the other person to live the same. So everything you do has to have a purpose. Even me drinking a green tea is the purpose of me being able to refresh my digestive system. Like, it's very important. I'm not just gonna, do things without a purpose. So that's the thing. I always have a why to what I do. So that's why I think where marriage is very important as well. Why you get married has to be something with development, not for settlement.
So what do you think of men?
Most of the men that I've met with regards to not my family though, there are some men in my dad's side of the family who are like very confined in terms of letting a woman be herself or letting their kids be themselves. They're like, don't do this, don't do that multiple times. Although it has nothing to do with faith, it's just to do with a form of suppression. Like, I'm the only dude here. So I hate that mentality is that girls can't do anything. No, girls can. They can do anything except certain things, but they can do amazing things. So, but in terms of my mom's side, I have uncles and like my cousin brothers, everybody, and I have friends who are always supportive, who do not look at us like, you're a girl. No, not at all. Although they're sometimes protective, that is there. But they're very open to us being ourselves. And even if it contradicts them, they would shy away. They'll be like, okay, you guys do you, we're going that side. They wouldn't suppress us. So there are men who suppress in Sri Lanka and there are men who do not suppress. And I've been nurtured by both. So I think I know the value of both the cultures of suppression and people who uphold you.
How do you define beauty?
I define beauty as expression. You are beautiful because you are a form of expression. That's what I believe beauty is. Beauty is expression.
If you are to talk about your biggest mistake.
My biggest mistake was to think that I could work on a 9-to-5 job. I honestly...
You tried?
I tried twice and failed horribly because...
What happened?
The reason is, Sri Lanka, in our culture, in the Lankan culture, there are very toxic work environments. They do not allow growth. Some of the companies, they don't allow growth. You have to just confine to whatever another person say. And I'm a person who really abide by the way you treat your employees or people who are under you actually sets your tone to the world. So I didn't like the way the minus staff was being treated in certain companies. That, my mother would be like, but that's a very bad excuse. I'm like, no, that's not an excuse. That puts what humanity should be. And I don't want to stand by it and work for a company that's going to treat somebody, the minus staff, in a different way compared to anybody who's sitting on the high chair. No, so I'm out of it. 9 to 5, creatively, it's very confined. It doesn't allow you to be yourself. I mean, I hope in the future there are places like Google. The Google workplace is completely goals because it thinks about the betterment of the employees. So I hope that comes into play.
You know, because in some companies that I've seen, okay, washrooms, for directors, a separate washroom, for executives, a separate one, for minor staff, separate one. I mean, I think that's terrible.
And even from the water they drink, okay? Minor staff gets the tap water, which is filled with chemicals, blah, blah, blah. It's honest, there is percentage of chlorine and all that. The higher staff gets mineral water, like in a tank, and it's put onto a mineral machine and it's pumping cold and hot water whenever it wants.
And the CEOs and directors get water bottles.
Well, yes, which I feel so bad to because it's just water. Share it with everybody. Even the bathroom, share it with everybody. Just keep it clean. That's about it.
Everybody deserves good things in life.
That's true. They do. Yeah. That's one reason why we wanted as Woah to create a self of importance to everybody. Anybody, the person who works with us, to the person who's delivering, to the person who gets the box, the sense of importance is really important.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how weird are you?
It depends on what you define as weird. Like if you think,
are you a crazy person?
Yes, I am. I would wear a wig and I would dress up my cat in some funny way. I do those things, and I would just like walk in my pajamas if I had the chance. I would. Like recently, one of my cats had a rash, and we ended up putting him a collar. So every day I designed the collar into weird ways. I love doing it. Once I tried doing a Darth Vader one that didn't come out quite well. So he was so pissed at me. He was like, I'm going to scratch your eyes. I'm like, okay, never mind. So I like, in my family, they would consider me the most weirdest because although I'm the oldest, they look at me as the youngest because I'm so weird. I love being myself.
What's the most weirdest thing that you have done in your life? Something to make them laugh?
The weirdest thing I've done in my life, I don't know if you would think it's weird, but the most weirdest thing I did was on my 18th birthday. We had a bit of a mini birthday party, and I'm a crazy fan of K-pop and the Korean culture.
Oh.
So, because it's awesome. And then I ended up wearing a unicorn onesie, a pink wig, and we basically started to weirdly dance around the staircase, and that I would consider is one of the weirdest things I've done because...
Do you have pictures?
I do not. Unfortunately, it's all in my old phone, so this is the new one. I mean, fortunately, honestly, that would be embarrassing to show. Because we started dressing up everybody in the pink, so I always like pink. So the pink bob, we put it on the boys, on the girls, and we were having fun. So that was the most weirdest thing. There are more weird things, but it's uncountable, so I can't really recall them because the weirdest thing is more than I've done the less weirdest things. So.
Alright, a more serious question. How do you define success?
I mean, it's very hard to define what successful is. Like, is success something to do with your bank account going on a skyrocket, or is it something that you've got on a newspaper? I think success is development. If you're growing, if you're consistently
and if you're happy with yourself.
Yes, that is success. Yeah. Because success is not money, it is always something to do with an impression. And I think people find gratification. I find gratification. Many people think success is money. That's okay. but I find gratification in the sense of importance.
So to a woman who wants to be successful in life, if you are to give a piece of advice, what would it be?
You do you. That's very important. You do you. As long as you don't disrupt somebody else's life at it, you be yourself, you work on yourself, and you grow. That is how. I've always tried to find my peace in that. I do not want to shake up somebody else's world because I want to grow. Peacefully, let's grow together. If mine doesn't compromise, like if it's compromising you, I would just do my thing and go with it. So that's very important.
Can you tell me about a time where you almost gave up, and what did you do instead of giving up, and how did you feel about it?
I used to work on the 9-to-5 job so that I could do something on the side hustle. So I used to fund my dream. I used to fund Woah. And then I realized after a certain time it became difficult in terms of the finance side. But I still kept pushing. No matter what, I still kept pushing because my mother, my sister and my cousins, all of them assured me that it's not about the income. It's about the impact you create. So that's why that kept me going, is that meaningfulness of keeping an impact and helping people out. Like, we could go broke, but we will still be functioning because we want to be able to provide people with a sense of importance. So I think that's what kept me going at Woah. Honestly, I cried. That's what we all do. I would be like a hypocrite if I told you I didn't. I cry and then I recollect myself, I journal, I go and I ask for advice, and then I restart.
So Woah is your main source of income right now, but do you still have a side hustle?
I am hoping to open something funky like myself, but for
funky
now,
like yourself.
Okay. This is the only thing that I've been working on. I gave up my 9-to-5 job, the second 9-to-5 job, last year.
In the future, but would you consider yourself having another?
Definitely.
Oh,
definitely, because there are many ways to serve. So if I find another way to serve the people around me, I will definitely look into it.
What's your superpower?
My superpower is to be consistently walking. I never give up entirely. I give up partially, and then I start thinking, must I really give up? I've come all this way and blah blah, and then I start recollecting my thoughts, and then I move upwards. So I consistently walk. I'm a very hopeful person. Sometimes it's a downfall, but sometimes it's brought so much joy in my life because I always try to see the bright side of things. I always try, so that's very important.
What has been the biggest challenge of your career?
The biggest challenge for Woah is
the Woah sounds like war.
Yeah.
So it's W-O-A-H.
It's like whoa.
Whoa, okay.
Yeah. my cousin brother makes fun of that. He goes like, oh, it's Woah booty box. I'm like, no, it's Woah beauty box. So they do it on purpose, but the essence of it was exactly to capture the element of surprise. So that's why we went with Woah.
So what's your favorite quote?
So my favorite quote is, whatever that's meant to be yours will always find its way.
People have secrets in their lives. Many. All right. So if you are comfortable of sharing one of your secrets,
I would honestly say that the biggest secret I have is, I really don't know. I don't know if you would call it a secret because everybody knows about me. So I'm like,
that's the point.
Yeah.
It has to be a secret.
Because it's very hard for me, because I have a lot of things going on that's very hard to catch. Okay, what's the secret that's running around now? Oh yeah, my biggest secret is that I have a major crush on a K-pop fan. It's a K-pop group. So that's the biggest secret. I know it's not much, but that's one of my biggest secrets because everybody thinks I'm nuts when I talk about one of the BTS members who are like my major crush. See, this is how weird I am. You could call this a secret though.
I'm sorry to say this, but you are weird.
Yeah. I would consider that as a big thing. There's this amazing K-pop person that I call Kingpin. He's a BTS member and I'm crazy about him, so totally crazy. So the biggest secret is I'm secretly married to him.
Do you have kids with him?
Nope. Nope. My mom doesn't even know about it. So then I always tell my mother, you know, you better learn Korean or something because your future son-in-law is going to be here soon. And she's like, what? I'm like, okay. So yeah, that's the biggest secret.
What if a client is not happy with your gift box? How would you react?
Sometimes we've had mistakes that, like a couple handful of times, we had like problems with certain items that we gave to like engraving or something. It didn't come out good, and we try explaining that to the client, and we find a different item that can replace it. So some clients find this like very odd. They're like, oh, I needed this but I didn't get it, you know, because we always have a stage of where we again you know, quality check everything with the client itself. So during that process, when we kind of get stuck or when the client doesn't notice something, we go through with the item. Although like we all have gone through the same procedure.
How do you deal with haters?
We've never got haters from our customers though. We've got haters who are not our customers but just come into our DMs, be like, you guys are not unique, you guys are blah blah, you guys are blah blah, all this. I mean, now compared to 2 years back, the curating market in Sri Lanka is very saturated, and that's okay. Everybody wants to express there are certain things customer prefers from somebody else, so it really doesn't matter. So there are so many people who just come and, you know, just try to mess up our heads through all this negativity. What we do as person, what we've always done is share love. We're like, love to you, hope you're doing great, thank you, it was so nice sharing your perspective, heart shape, and then done. That's it.
I had a great time talking with you, Mumina, and thank you so much for joining
Thank
with
you
us
so much
today.
for having me, actually, because I believe this is a good platform. There are so many women out there who need a voice, who need to be heard. And I think it's really good that you're providing this from this platform and so many people would know about it. So I hope you grow into something bigger in the future. It was really nice.
Thank you.